Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that's been shaking Ukraine to its core. While the world watches the country fight for its survival against foreign aggression, there's a disturbing practice emerging from within, one that's been called Busification. But what exactly is it? And why is it being described as a crime against humanity? In this video, we'll unpack what Busification is, how it's happening, and why it's sparking outrage both inside and outside of Ukraine. Let's break it down. Busification, a word that might sound like a simple transport issue, actually describes something far darker. This term refers to the forced conscription of Ukrainian men into the military, often by terrifying and violent means. Imagine this. You're simply walking down the street, minding your business in Kyiv or Odessa. A white van rolls up, and before you know it, you're dragged away, often against your will, by the very authorities meant to protect you. No explanation, no legal basis, no escape. The men taken aren't criminals or fugitives. They're just ordinary citizens going about their day. And if you try to run, some men don't make it out alive. There are reports of gunshots ringing out as people flee in fear. TCC officers, Ukraine's Territorial Centers of Recruitment, have taken drastic steps to conscript men, even shooting to stop them. This isn't a simple arrest. This is forced detention with a brutal edge. Men are often rounded up in broad daylight with no warning, thrown into vans, and transported to military bases. The violence is not only physical but psychological. For many, this is the beginning of an uncertain, horrifying future. Ukraine's own constitution guarantees the right to freedom and security, no arbitrary detention. But with Busification, the very foundation of these rights is shattered. TCC officers, often acting without legal authority, are violating not just Ukrainian law, but international human rights standards. Just recently, over 3,200 complaints of TCC abuse were logged in a 2024 report. Disabled men, the elderly, even the sole breadwinners of families, none of them are exempt. This practice is a violation of human dignity on a massive scale, with civilians being treated as mere tools for war. And it doesn't stop there. Some of the victims have been beaten to death. Imagine, a man with epilepsy, already vulnerable, gets beaten after a seizure is mistaken for defiance. This is not an isolated incident. This is happening, and it's happening now. In fact, there are countless stories of men being tortured, forced into labor, or even dying during forced conscription, all because they were caught up in this terrifying practice. These aren't just numbers or headlines. They are real people, and their lives are being ruined by this. Supporters claim these extreme measures are necessary to secure Ukraine's survival amidst Russia's invasion. But the question remains, is it worth losing the soul of a nation for the sake of conscription? As public trust in the TCC collapses, with over 60% of Ukrainians expressing distrust in their recruiters, it's clear that the way forward is not through fear and coercion. When people begin to fear the very institutions meant to protect them, the nation is losing something far more valuable than any military advantage. It's losing its moral high ground. The Busification of Ukraine is a complex issue that raises significant questions about human rights, the rule of law, and the treatment of civilians in times of war. What started as a military necessity has spiraled into a practice that challenges Ukraine's commitment to its own constitutional rights and international human rights standards. The line between securing a country's future and protecting its people's dignity has become dangerously blurred. While the war with Russia continues, the actions of Ukraine's Territorial Centers of Recruitment and the tactics used for conscription have sparked controversy both within the country and internationally. These events reflect the tension between wartime necessity and the protection of fundamental freedoms. Global human rights organizations have condemned the practice, and the international community is watching closely to see if Ukraine will take action to address these abuses.
Давайте говорите вслух все это.
А что такое? Сегодня сюда заехали.
Все, это не ругайся.
Под документы показывайте, кто вы.
Я говорю, держи
Документы
дистанцию.
показывайте. Показывайте документы.
Так
Кто
я
вы?
за вами не обязан показывать.
Показывайте, не
Человек.
Показывайте документы. Покажите. Может, вы какая-то... Документы покажите.
Отпускайте ее. Отпускайте.
As this issue unfolds, it's clear that the broader implications of busification reach far beyond the battlefield. The practice has sparked intense debate about the balance between military strategy and human rights, and how nations navigate such challenges during times of war. Over 3,200 reports of abuse and growing distrust in the TCC show just how complicated the situation has become. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth coverage of critical issues around the world. Until next time, stay informed.